Sunny ways, my friends. Sunny ways.
Your 16 seconds are up. I'm going to ask you again because nobody believes you when you say you don't know how much money your family has got from the wheat group. You've had a month to look into that. You knew you were going to testify here. Again, how much money total have your brother, mother, and spouse received from this organization? How much?
That information has been publicly shared. But I will highlight.
Well, then tell me what it is.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of water out of when we have water bottles out of plastic. Away from plastic towards paper, like drink box water bottles, sort of thing. Sorry,
the servicing costs on the debt that you're going to have to carry that you're adding to now, right?
Interest rates are at historic lows, Glenn.
Where's the funds?
On the topic, I mean, in terms of your sort of strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist pathway.
What does that mean? Oh, Justin, you're awake. You made it. Have a seat. Have a coffee. You need some. Wakey time.
Let's cut that Disney Plus subscription. So we cut it. It's only $13.99 a month that we're saving, but every little bit helps.
A lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but...
Like who?
I don't know who, but...
Well, you're the one who asked the question, so
yeah.
You must know somebody. Yeah, that's all that's coming off. There's nothing else coming off, yeah. I'm not Justin Trudeau here. Let's fucking go!
Let's fucking go.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. Merry Christmas. Doesn't it feel good to say that? Shouldn't we be saying that more often? I wasn't planning to do a stream. I wasn't planning to get this all out of the way, but hey, look at this. We've already got almost 700 viewers after the intro sitting here in the multicast. Guys, get those thumbs ups in the YouTube. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Good things are coming. We're winning. I want to get into this because a lot of rumors have been circulating today about Justin Trudeau and what is happening with him proroguing Parliament, or the possibility of him proroguing Parliament. I want to put people's minds to rest because Christmas is here. Christmas came early this year. It's the last Christmas Justin Trudeau will be Prime Minister of Canada. We can celebrate. Nothing bad is going to happen. We're going to go over all of that tonight here on this special pre-Christmas Eve live stream, Christmas Eve live stream here on the channel. If you guys are still looking for last minute gift ideas, which you're probably not, if you are, shame on you. I'm going to get a shameful plug out of the way. Why don't we do that? Why don't we start the stream off with a shameful plug, shall we? Only Fringe. If you guys don't know, we had a little joke last stream that we were going to start calling the channel Only Fringe. Instead of OnlyFans. We have Only Fringe merch up on the store right now. Looks really good in the white. I got to be honest. We had to put a border around it for darker clothing, but hey, I think the Only Fringe joke is kind of funny. I think I might change the Patriots Club to Only Fringe so we can say we have Only Fringe members. Who knows? I think it's going to be funny anyways, but here we go. If you want to go grab your Only Fringe merchandise, I'm going to put a link down below. You can always hit the shop button on the YouTube channel. But the reason I'm bringing this up, and here's the link down here, ladies and gentlemen, unacceptablefringe.myspreadshop.com. You can pick up your Only Fringe merch over there. The reason I want to bring this up is we started a little deal this month here on the channel where I said that every super chat, every membership that was gifted, every dollar we made from merchandise, book sales on Amazon, you name it, was going towards helping veterans this Christmas through supportourtroops.ca. It helps with hampers, helps with needs for veterans. We got to show you guys what's been done here, what's happened. It's a Christmas miracle. I grabbed this screen grab earlier tonight as YouTube payment came in earlier today. Here we go. As of 6:05 p.m. Calgary time tonight, email comes through with your $2,500 donation. Support our troops and soldier on. Derek, thank you for your generous donation of $2,500. We are grateful for your support. Of course, you can see down there, total amount Canadian, $2,500 down at the bottom of the screen. The total amount raised between super chats, between everything that we did. Again, keep in mind, YouTube takes about 30% of the cuts that come through. We raised about $2,100, but old Santa Fringe came in and said, let's make it 25. Let's just throw it in and help our vets this Christmas. This is where the proof in the pudding comes in that we have the greatest community on this YouTube platform. It was the season for giving, and this year we gave to veterans in need, those who help secure our borders, those who help keep our country free and strong. $2,500 going to vets this year. For all of our veterans who do watch our streams, thank you for your service. If you have family members this Christmas that you are going to see, thank them for their service on behalf of Unacceptable Fringe. You guys, wow. You guys are, this is you. This isn't me. This is what you guys have done. You have shown generosity this Christmas season. And I got to say, I'm proud of this channel. I'm proud of this community. I'm proud of everything we've all done together as a group, as a unit. Justin Trudeau can suck my unit because we've just shown Canada is the greatest country on earth, and we're not stopping, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, we're back. Let's get this stream going with an old-fashioned roll call. Chime in. Let me know where you're watching from. Let's try and get one person from every province in the country. We're over 1,000 viewers in the multi-stream already, guys. Get those thumbs ups in. Let's see if we can break a viewer record tonight. Wouldn't that be great before Christmas? If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, hit it. Wouldn't you? Don't you want to be a part of the greatest community on the platform? Chime in. Let's see who we can get in here. We got Captain Calgary from Calgary. Rob from Canada. I'm not going to read that comment, Rob. I'm not repulsed by anybody. HUD coming in from Ontario. Rob, I'm a veteran who I used Soldier on. Thank you. Rob, thank you for your service. We're happy to make that donation this year. Resolute Ronan in from Merlin, Ontario. Welcome in. It's great to have you here. We've got Nelson coming in from New Brunswick. Wesley Snipes coming in from Lethbridge, Alberta. We got RB coming in from Iran. Wow. That's a long one. OAO coming in from Dedmonton, Alberta. Welcome in. Great to have you here. Jason from Langdon. Welcome in. We got Justin coming in from Kentsville, Nova Scotia. Trudeau's a commie joining us once again from Calgary, my town. Welcome in. Great to have you here. Savage Silence. So happy we could all come together to make this happen. I am as well. Again, $2,500 from you guys, the community. A little bit from the fringe, but you guys. A tear struck my eye. So proud of you guys. Hunting Upland coming in from Saskatchewan. Welcome in. Mike Freedom Honey coming in from Beaver County. Great to have you here. Again, guys, we had a big promotion with calendars that curse this year. If you guys are, time's running out. You need a new calendar for this year, go get the F. Trudeau calendar from calendarsthatcurse.ca. Head over and check it out. Night of Felima, I think Mrs. Fringe would divorce if you let Trudeau suck your unit. She'd probably laugh. And then she'd probably say, don't even try it, Justin. Claire Davis is coming in from Edmonton. Welcome in. We got Joseph coming in from Alberta. We got Brian coming in from Wasaga Beach. Poop might be frozen by now, so just watch your step, but welcome in. I know I crack that joke every time, but we have to. Missy coming in from Ontario. Welcome in. We got Mikey from Wawa, Ontario. Rodney coming in from Newfoundland. We got Lauren coming in from Central Alberta. Welcome in. Airworks coming in from Southern Ontario. Hello in the middle of a snowstorm. I hope you're staying warm and safe tonight. Angela coming in from Martok, Nova Scotia. Welcome in. We got Cindy from Regina, Saskatchewan. Mark from Ontario. Mike TVW, you heard Derek thumbs up already. Hit that like button and like it's King Fancy Socks eject button. The ejection's coming soon. Whether you like it or not, guys, we're going to talk about it tonight. Jonathan Snape McLean coming in from Markham, Ontario. Welcome in. We got Patty from Pembroke, Ontario. Rob Stevens coming in from Winnipeg, Manitoba, my hometown where I grew up, born and raised. Love Winnipeg. Welcome in. We got Marcus with the LFGs. Merry Christmas from Airdrie. Same to you, my friend. Welcome into the stream. We got Lee from Edmonton, Carol and Gerald coming in from Calgary. We got Marshall. I'm from Lindsay, Ontario. Welcome in. Great to have you here. We got Down V coming in from Saskatchewan. Forbes from Smith Falls, Ontario. We got Vox Guitars Rocks coming in from Welland, Ontario, checking in. Welcome in. Great to have you here. We got Happy Go Lucky HTD for Life coming in from Vancouver Island, member of the Patriots Club. Welcome in. We've got Aaron coming in from Red Deer. We've got Reg coming in from Val de Bravo, Mexico. Welcome in. Great to have you here. We got John Hill coming in. Merry Christmas from Yubu, Vancouver Island. Welcome in. I hope I pronounced that right. Welcome in. Great to have you here. We got Regine coming in from Windsor, Ontario. Cloud coming in from St. Felix de Valois. I hope I'm pronouncing that. I'm sorry if I'm butchering things, folks. We got Master of Snatch joining us tonight. And let me tell you something. Master of Snatch, another one of our veterans. This is part of the reason I wanted to donate to veterans this year. Not because Snatch needed it, but again, I love our veterans. Veterans are the backbone of this country. And I respect Snatch a lot. And I thank him for his service as well. Thank you to everybody again who contributed the $2,500 raised to veterans this month. Freedom Calendar live from Edmonton. Honking will continue until freedom improves. Keep it up. Thank you for joining us. Diana coming in. Canadians in Arizona. Welcome in. We love our American viewers. Reggie coming in from Quebec City. Welcome in. Allison joining us from Calgary. James from Two Hills, Alberta. We got Ingrid and Charlie joining us once again from good old Okotoks, Alberta with the LFGs. Great to have you guys here. We've got Jancor joining us again, member of the Patriots Club from Ottawa, Ontario. We got Jim coming in from Calgary. Diane from Ontario. Xylo, almost 1,000 on YouTube alone. We're at 1,200 on the multicast. Guys, again, get those subscribes in, the likes, everything. If you haven't yet, join the greatest community on YouTube. PK coming in from Ontariola. Welcome into the stream to all of you. Moose Jaw Neighborhood Watch and Patrol coming in from Moose Jaw. I would be a little worried if you're coming in from like Fort Saskatchewan, but welcome in. Great to have you here. We got Grant coming in from Deer Run. We got Jerry watching from Vancouver Island. Thank you for joining us. Jason from Lethbridge. Sylvain coming in from Quebec, Canada. Great to have you here. Gina coming in from Regina. We all know at this time of the year, ladies and gentlemen, what rhymes with Regina? Fun. Welcome into the stream. I know I cracked that joke a lot too, but I love it. Can't get enough of it. Danielle Sweeney from Newfoundland. Welcome in. Great to have you here. Joey coming in from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. We got Hugh coming in from Winnipeg, Glenn from Alberta. RB, we got you a little earlier, but welcome in from Iran. We got Chris Archer from Saskatchewan, Savage Silence joining us from Hammertown, Ontario, Marshall from Lindsay, Ontario, Rico Suave coming in from Ottawa Valley, Ontario, checking in. Welcome in. Mike, member of the Patriots Club, joining us from Ampere, Ontario. Merry Christmas, Derek. Same to you as well. Melanie Freer coming in from Niagara Falls. Welcome in. Dilligaff Brothers Contracting joining us once again from Surrey, BC. Norse Cult coming from Edmonton. David Brewer, Springfield, Missouri, USA. Welcome into America and all of our viewers from America. 51st state, baby. Here we go. Singing coming in from BC. Princess Thickness joining us once again from Montreal, Quebec. Welcome in. Great to have you here. Dustin coming in from Sam Squanchicon. We got Sam Squanches coming into this friggin' chat here. Welcome in. It's great to have you here. We got Jim coming in from Sudbury, the yet new province of Northern Ontario. Welcome in. Stephen Hickey saying hello. Welcome in, Stephen. Great to have you here. Wayne watching from 108 Mile Ranch, BC. Sorry. Guys, there's so many. Look at you guys active in the chat. I think I saw Radio Reaction in there and a few other guys. Where was it? I see them. Just saying hi to my regular viewers, to awesome community. Again, welcome into the stream, each and everybody in view. I do have to acknowledge a $50 super chat from Humble Tracker. No message though. Send a message next time. Thank you so much for that amazing super chat. David Brewer, $4.99 super chat. Joyeux Festivi from the rest of us. I'm assuming that's a Merry Christmas in French. Savage Silence, becoming a member for 2 months. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's, everyone. Hugs and loves. Savage Silence, Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. Thank you for joining us here on the stream tonight. And to everyone who's joined us in the stream, Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. It's great to have you guys all in here. Again, I am completely taken back at the $2,500 we raised this month. A lot of people saying it's not going to go high. Nobody's going to get that kind of money. It's not going to happen. Well, we proved everybody wrong. Again, best community on the platform, guys. All super chats, all memberships, all books bought on Amazon, all merchandise, receipts coming in for veterans this month. 2,500 amazing dollars. You guys absolutely rock. I wanted to tell everyone again, now that we're sitting at over 1,300, almost 1,400 viewers on the simulcast, you guys are absolutely amazing. I am so proud of this community. Let's talk about, hopefully for one of the last times until an election, Justin Trudeau. I hope he has a miserable birthday 2 days from now on Christmas Day. I doubt it'll happen, but I would really love if he just woke up alone and his children said they wanted nothing to do with him and he just had to reflect upon the family he's destroyed and the country he's brought along with it. Now, a lot of people say that it's probably crass and it's probably really immature of me, but I don't think that anybody who invokes the Emergency Act on their own people, who silences them, who steals from them, who treats them like peasants, deserves any kind of satisfaction, any kind of full feeling Christmas Day. Whether you think that's nice or greedy or mean or whatever, I've just had enough of this person. I can't even call him a man because he, well, quite frankly, doesn't sit like one. So he hasn't earned that title. But let's talk a little bit about the rumors going around Parliament Hill. There's a lot of rumors circulating that Justin Trudeau is going to supposedly prorogue Parliament when he comes back, as soon as Parliament goes back into session. A lot of people, when we talked about Jagmeet Singh's letter stating that he was going to vote non-confidence, that this was going to happen. And people are saying it's not, it's going to get drawn out. The election's still going to happen in October. It may even go past that. This is the start of them rigging things for Justin to stick around. I'm here to drop a little bit of Christmas cheer on you guys. Captain Tampon has left the building, ladies and gentlemen. While Trudeau has stated he will not resign over the Christmas break, he will not step down, all is not lost. In fact, whether we have an election called in the spring or whether he prorogues Parliament like a jackass and sends things moving along into the fall, no more bills can be passed. No more hardships can fall upon Canadians. We can start to see a little bit more investigation going into the scandals that have happened with this government. If you think Pierre Poilievre is going to allow this human being to leave office with no consequences, especially after this, I don't think so. I don't think so. I've said a million times over, I want to see an election. I want to see Justin run in that election. I want to see Justin absolutely pummeled and desecrated. If there is a prorogue of Parliament, if we do wait for the fall for an election, this is a good thing. And I want to explain why. It's your problem calling Trudeau humans worse than garbage. Okay, I get it. I get it. Here's why it's not a bad thing if Trudeau leaves. Let's pull up local numbers, shall we? Local polling numbers. I should have done this ahead of time. I have to apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I was taking the last night before Christmas Eve to finish wrapping last minute gifts. I sat down and watched National Lampoon's Christmas with my kids just before stream. Let's take a look at the polls. that are happening right now. Let's bring this screen back in. Right now, if an election was called, Pierre Poilievre and the Conservative Party of Canada, with an only required 172 seats, is looking to take currently 232 seats. Liberal Party, 39, NDP 25, Green Party 2. The Bloc taking 45. Now keep in mind, this was last updated on the 22nd, but you can see in Ontario here, 98 of the seats are coming from Ontario, with only 14 going to Justin Trudeau's Liberals. In Quebec, 20 seats going to the Liberals. So of course you can see down here that the majority of seats that the Liberals are going to win in the next election, or projected to win, are sitting between Ontario and Quebec. I've got some sour news for anybody who thinks that Justin Trudeau is going to hang on to those seats. What you're going to see over the time that Trudeau prorogues Parliament, you're going to see, for starters, Humble Tracker gifting 10 Unacceptable Fringe Patriots Club memberships. Thank you so much, Humble Tracker, for gifting those. Welcome to all 10 of our new Only Fringe Patriots Club members. It's great to have you guys in here. Welcome into the stream. And thank you for joining our community. Thank you for the 10 gifted memberships as well, Humble Tracker. I appreciate that. My goodness, so generous. Here's Jeff saying, so I want to chime in. I'm going to give the floor to you guys throughout this stream as well. It's almost impossible to get prorogued that long. I doubt the Governor General will let it go longer than a couple of months. I'd be surprised if it went longer than a couple of weeks, to be honest, because what you're seeing here and what you're going to see is that there's a rumor circulating that the Liberals want to form the Liberals that are unhappy with Justin Trudeau want to split and form their own independent party separate from Justin Trudeau. Again, I've talked about this for the longest time, ladies and gentlemen, the Hydra biting its heads off of each other. Welcome to the shit show. This is where I'm saying I'm almost happy if things are prorogued, because we're going to see, if you think a circus happened the last week or two with Chrystia Freeland resigning as finance minister, with Trudeau hiding while the fall economic statement was way off the rails, buckle up, because things are going to be, there's going to be infighting in the House of Commons, a lot of drama. You're going to see the Liberal Party literally, after 10 years of telling us to stuff it, implode. They're literally going to implode. You've got members talking about breaking rank. You've got members talking about crossing the floor, even though the Conservatives don't want them. And with those numbers we were showing, when 20 of the seats that are supposedly going to Liberals, Quebec is looking to form the next opposition in Canada. You don't think those Liberal ridings are going to start wavering towards the Bloc in Quebec as the longer Trudeau draws this out, the longer he pushes and says, nah, everything's fine. I really want my son to vote for me in the next election. Do you think people are going to sit back that support the Liberals and say, that's fine? That's okay. Savage Silence saying, yeah, I love how they all waited till now to speak up. Well, here's the thing. Up until not too long ago, Justin Trudeau had been teasing that they were going to draw out the election date. They were going to go past the recommended or the required election date in October to try and essentially make sure that the day after the election was supposed to happen was when we got our election, so that Liberal cabinet members and NDP cabinet members that were going to get ousted were still going to get their pensions. The election commissioner said no. So Justin didn't extend their ability to get their pensions. They're all done. They're cooked. Lee gifting 5 Unacceptable Fringe memberships to the community. Thank you so much, Lee. Wow, you guys are being so generous tonight. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Welcome to all 5 of our new Patriots Club members. Reasonable Assumption also with a $20 super chat. Taylor Swift told Justin she wants her friendship bracelets back. I wouldn't want them back after Justin touched them. Might have to get those cleared for hepatitis, but nonetheless, let's get back to what we're talking about here. You've got Liberal MPs texting from the bathrooms, telling the Conservatives what's happening within the Liberal Party. You have turmoil within the party. You have almost unanimous Liberal consent right now to get rid of Justin Trudeau. They don't want him either. Do you guys think things are going to be fine when Justin prorogues Parliament? Do you think that it's just going to settle down, that we're not going to hear about any rumblings in the House of Commons, that things aren't going to break apart? This is the destruction of both of those parties. Listen, Chains, $2 super chat. Election will be too late to avoid tariffs. Fair enough. Fair enough. But that's where I think the Governor General is going to intervene. That's where I think things are going to change. I'm really hopeful over the Christmas break that Pierre's people get in touch with Trump's party and start to talk about hopefully doing something. Now, a lot of people have said to Pierre, and we saw it in a press conference earlier this week when Pierre was talking about the circus that was going on within the Liberal Party. And this is what happens when you hire clowns. A news reporter asked, could you not contact the Trump party and talk to them about maybe pulling back on the tariffs since you're likely to be prime minister in the next election? Here's the thing. Why would Pierre do that? If Pierre does that, if Pierre were to pull back Trump's tariffs, well, that just gives breathing room for Justin and the Liberals. It just says, okay, the tariffs are gone, so let's regroup. Let's re-strategize. As much as I hate the tariffs, Pierre should do no such thing. He should talk to Trump about pulling back the tariffs once he is prime minister, but not a day before. Pierre would be an idiot if he went to Trump right now and tried to talk him down on the tariffs. Listen, Chains, another $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Governor General can ignore the prime minister. It happened in 1926. Well, fair enough. But again, none of this is going to benefit their parties. I just let old Fringe paint a picture for you here. By the way, we've crushed our viewer record for live streams on the channel tonight, guys. Wow, Christmas came early for Fringe. Over 2,300 viewers in the live stream. Simulcast. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, hit it now. I wanted to hit 50,000 subs before the new year. It's not going to happen, but let's hit it. Let's hit it. Wow, I'm flattered. Thank you to everybody who's joining us tonight. Let me paint a picture for you here. In provinces like Alberta, you have Naheed Nenshit, who's running against Danielle Smith, saying that he's going to run NDP, that the NDP are coming back in Alberta. Danielle Smith's going to be out of a job next election. What happens in the federal government trickles down the ladder. So whether Jagmeet says he's going to vote or not, if Trudeau prorogues Parliament, the blame is going to fall to Jagmeet Singh. You didn't do this earlier. You didn't call when you had the chance, all for your pension. That's when the blame is really going to be heavy-hearted. That's when anybody who ever supports the NDPs is going to start feeling the crunch. When we talk about the quadrupling of the carbon tax, when we talk about tariffs, when you talk about everything else, it's all going to fall on Jagmeet Singh. You allowed this to happen. What do you think is going to happen to the NDP parties across the country? Their holdings, their representatives, the support they get. Provincially, municipally. Carson, El Gringo Grande. $5 super chat. This is amazing, Fringers. I have a dime for every thumbs up YouTube tonight. LFG, folks. Guys, get those thumbs ups in there. Thank you so much for the super chat. This is sheer pleasure coming my way. As somebody who reports on politics, as somebody who is watching closely what happens across our country, the NDP in Alberta are going to crumble because of this. You're going to see that party slowly dissolve. The only people who are going to vote for the NDP in any provincial election, especially in Alberta coming up at this point, are going to be temporary foreign, not temporary foreign workers because they can't vote, but you know what I mean. The immigrants, the gimmigrants, anybody who wants like a universal basic income, woke people, basically a large portion of people in Edmonton. There are good voters in Edmonton. Don't get me wrong. There's good voters there too. I'm not saying the entire town is woke, but that's the only place you're going to see the NDP get any votes. The rest of the province is going to tell him to pack up and shift out. Naheed Nenshit will not get his seat as Premier of Alberta. Justin with a $2 super chat. Hope everyone has loved ones this Christmas. Thank you so much. I hope so as well. It's what you're seeing here is an awakening of Canada. The longer Trudeau holds out for an election, this is where the thumbnail says we won. It says we won. The country is waking up. If Trudeau calls an election, we go to the polls, he's gone, he gets defeated and crushed. Pierre's the new prime minister, he axes the tax, he builds the homes, he stops the crime, he boots all the immigrants out of the country and says, hightail it. Things get back to normal. If Trudeau prorogues Parliament, his party dissolves to non-party status. The NDP's dissolve to non-party status because everybody's mad and finger pointing at them. Everybody's fed up with them. Everybody's done because they're literally showing you and their supporters the corruption. We're just here for the money. It's over. There's no excuse they can give anybody to try and paint a picture that what they're doing is the right thing. If you guys go back to the Freedom Convoy, if you go back to when he brought in the Emergencies Act, when he invoked the Emergency Act, he had all the divisive people on hand to say, look, they're putting us at risk. They're trying to stop people from being safe and looking after themselves. And they're putting you all at risk by saying, take down the mandates. They had almost half the country's population on their side. So it was easy. They had an election. They used fear as a tactic to get people to vote for Justin because they had a pandemic to use as a tool, just like George Bush did for his second term in the early 2000s. Oh, you remember 9/11? Well, if you don't vote for me, this is going to happen again. Fear is an amazing weapon when it comes to politics. What you're going to see here is that anybody who supports the Liberal Party, anybody who supports Jagmeet Singh, yeah, you're going to have a few wackos there that don't care how bad it gets. They'll still be there. But the numbers of people that are waking up, the people that have had enough, the people who say, look, I like you guys, but I just can't do it anymore. They're going to turn. Earl gifting 5 unacceptable fringe Patriots Club memberships. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas, sir. Thank you for doing that. You guys, very generous. Very generous. 2,500 viewers in this stream. I can't believe it. Christmas came early. Carson. Blah, blah, blah. Carson El Gringo Grande with a $100 super chat to cover the first 1,000 likes. Thank you, sir. My goodness, that is so generous. Merry Christmas, sir. Hope you're enjoying Mexico. Thank you so much for that amazing super chat. This is why I'm saying that, I went through YouTube videos today. I was checking out what everybody was doing before Christmas. Where's everybody talking about? I got on Twitter. I seen what people were, and everybody was panicking. Trudeau's going to prorogue Parliament. It's going to come down. It's over. We're going to have to wait till October. It's just 6 more months and blah, blah, blah. And it's start looking at, let's all as a country start looking at the glass half full instead of half empty. That's why I wanted to do this stream tonight. That's why I wanted to put all this out tonight. We won. We won. He's defeated. Earl's saying we're screwed. We're not screwed yet. Trudeau's a commie, $10 super chat. I followed the Alberta election. Most NDP ridings won by a few hundred votes. People need to vote, especially with all these new people coming to Alberta. We need the popular vote. We do, and it's important. And that's why it's not, you can't just sit back now and say, well, the time to vote's over. It's done. We don't need to worry about it. We still need to worry about it regardless of the numbers. Jay King with a $4.99 super chat. Merry Christmas. Miss Canada, but couldn't find a job and had to leave before I lost everything. I'm there in spirit. Oh my goodness. Jay King, I hope everything's all right. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. I appreciate it. Our cup runneth over. This is where I'm saying that what we have to look at is strategy here. We have to look at the big picture. You know, any of the times people talk about whatever's current, whatever's happening, how terrible it is, how bad things are. I always try to look at it like a game of Risk or like a strategy game on the PC. You know, like I don't know if you guys notice, I play a lot of video games, but you got to look at the long game here, and you got to say, how many numbers do you think Justin Trudeau can pull out of his butt before the next election? How many people do you think he can persuade to believe the shit he's shoveling? Right? Like, it's going to get worse for him. What's he going to tell his loyal his loyal voters, if he prorogues Parliament? The only excuse he has was that he wanted his son to vote for him when he turned 18 in his first election, his first ability to vote. That was the reason he wanted to wait for an October election. Is that what he's going to tell Canadians? Well, I simply prorogued Parliament because I wanted my son to vote for me. Canada's going to tell him to go stick that right up his ass. And his numbers are going to go down even more. This is a good thing. Because what it means, ladies and gentlemen, when you look at the long game, when Trudeau leaves and his party is almost non-existent, do you know how long it's going to take them to rebuild themselves, rebrand themselves, build back up and convince Canadians to even give them a chance at the polls? Canada's going to start to look like Alberta, where the Liberals don't see the point in running in some places. They just don't bother because it's not going to benefit them. I agree. I think mostly he's a narcissist and won't resign. I think he just wants the free handouts. I think, like, even CB is saying, welcome in, CB, by the way, 20 years to come back. Like, this isn't going to be Pierre getting in and then the Liberals coming back with a vengeance 4 years later. The country has woken up. The numbers on the polling don't lie. This is going to be the largest majority the Conservatives have ever had. And the Liberals have nobody to blame for this but Justin Trudeau and his corrupt cohorts. The NDP can hardly afford to go into an election. They're done. I would be shocked if this party isn't sitting in non-party status by the end of the next election. So, yeah, Master of Snatch saying Jugmeat's worth over 70 million. You tell me that anybody wants to help him out in the next election? Anybody wants to vote for him? Anybody's going to believe anything he has to say? The fingers are going to be pointing in his direction. This is all your fault, sir. We could have went to the polls months ago and had this problem solved. And he's going to be going, rich CEOs, rich grocery stores, rich this and that, Galen Weston. People are going to say, shut up. They don't care. They're not going to care. Because you could have fixed it all. Well, I put it in writing. You put it in writing because you delayed for your pension. You're here for the money. Now, he gets to ride off into the sunset with his money, but that party, gone. They're gone. Their woke politics, their woke ideologies, their woke vision of the future. As the Joker says in The Dark Knight, it's gone. It's just gone. This is why I'm saying it's time to celebrate. It's time to be happy. It's time to look at the brighter side of things, ladies and gentlemen. So if the NDP and Liberals lose party status, does that mean we just have a conservative monarchy? No, we'd still have opposition with the Bloc, which again could change things for the country's landscape. If the Bloc really started to go hard at that point, I'm not sure where things are going to go. You might start to see other parties emerge over time. You know, part of the problem in Canada that we talk about all the time is the uniparty. You hear that brought up a lot. I'm sure you guys have been to other channels that talk about that. I've talked about it on this channel when offering my criticism of the government. you might start to see some other parties emerge from the ashes of these other parties, of people that actually are interested in politics, not just filling their wallets. Rachel with a $5 super chat. Do we know about petition E5289 election now? 52,000 closes January 18th, 11 a.m. Yeah, so I've encouraged everybody before, go and sign the petition. Again, these petitions don't really do anything, but there is strength in numbers. I do believe in, again, doing your due diligence. I saw it. There is no politician I can trust. They all sleep the same. I'm the same. I'm the same. I've said it before. You shouldn't trust any politician. You don't know them. They don't know you. They have an agenda when they get into power. So there's no reason to take them at their words. And people get mad when you say that, but that's the reality of it, folks. Tom with the $2 super chat. Activists in Senate are going to sabotage CPC. Oh God, I said CBC. CPC legislation. I don't think so. I know that's everybody's fear, but again, I don't think so. If he prorogues, then it gets rid of C63 and 293. It matters a lot. Yes. Either way, we're getting rid of those, Corey. That's why I'm saying that we have to take this as a glass half full moment. That even if he prorogues, all it means is that things are at a standstill until the fall. We're still getting our election. Trudeau can't bungle things up anymore. Right? He can't introduce any legislation. He can't do anything more to harm us. He's just sitting and letting the clock run out. Churros Economy, $5 super chat. Off to work. I will stay and listen. Merry Christmas to all. Merry Christmas to you, sir. Thank you so much for your generosity tonight. Appreciate it. Krista with the $6.99 super chat. I was gifted a membership. Thank you. Thanks for live streaming. It's company for us without family. Merry ho-ho, you fringes. And everyone hit the like button. Thank you so much. Daphne Devine becoming a member for 10 straight months. Thank you all for being here. Congrats, Derek. Looks like we've we've unalived two birds with one stone, I'm guessing. Yeehaw. There you go. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Let's keep the happiness in here. Let's keep the good vibes going in the stream. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to have a great Christmas knowing that Justin Trudeau's time is at an end. That he can't destroy my city, my life, my ability to speak. It's done. It's done. Hopefully, very soon, we won't have to censor ourselves on this platform anymore. Corey saying, sometimes you can't even trust some friends. How you trust the government when they get paid hundreds of thousands for 10 months of the little work that they do? Well, yeah. Yeah. Farm dogs, I got a reason to believe we're getting our shovels back. Pierre was interviewed recently, and he was saying the same thing, that he's fed up with the way things have gone. Things are changing. I mean, did you hear him talking about he's not letting men into women's prisons? He's already pushing against that. And he doesn't really care what people say about it at this point. Brad with a $5 super chat. Merry Christmas to you as well, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think that this is probably going to be the best Christmas I've had in a long time. You know, during the pandemic, Christmas got a little depressing because family, it wasn't that we didn't want to see family. We were prepared to break the rules, but family was all, no, we have to follow them. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to go out. I mean, they all got paranoid, and kind of said, okay, yeah. And, you know, the few last years after that, you know, we've had family things going on that kind of disrupt the holidays, and losing members of family, things like that. This year, I said to my wife earlier this year, it's going to be better this year. It's going to be different. Because it's hopefully, now earlier this year, you know, first quarter to halfway through the year, I was saying, hopefully it means it's the last year we have Justin Trudeau as prime minister. Well, now we can definitely say it's done. And I think that's going to make it, great. The Truth saying, I hope PP doesn't become a Harper clone. Harper years weren't great. Trudeau's years are worse. They are, and there are gripes that I have with Stephen Harper. JD, hey Derek. So I have your permission to drop a link in chat about a story from Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan. This story will make your blood boil. JD, I put out a video about that today already. People aren't allowed to drop links in the chat because of bots that do spamming. So unfortunately, no. But go watch this morning's video. I did a story on that already. Ivory Tart, member for 2 months. I can't believe the official opposition will likely be the Bloc. Quebec Nationalist Separatist Party. Make Canada politics make sense. Yeah, but again, I think that's going to be possibly the destruction of that party too. Because the problem when you have a bigger seat at the table is they're going to start getting confident. They're going to get comfortable. They're going to start shooting their mouth off. I think that things will crumble for them eventually too. Tom with the 1495 super chat. How long are we on the hook for this buffoon's security after he's gone? I think it's indefinitely. I hope not, but I think it's indefinitely. Ivory Tart gifting 5 unacceptable fringe memberships to the Patriots Club. Thank you so much. Welcome to all 5 of our new Patriots Club members. Knight saying, I want Quebec to separate from Canada. I want the separatists to separate from Canada. Anybody in Quebec? I've spoken to a lot of people from Quebec that like working. They love living here. They love Canada. They identify with Canada. Let them stay. You know, Quebec, if they want to separate, they should get like the little tip up near Newfoundland. There's also a tiny little island right above New Brunswick. They could have that island. Maybe we just move them to that island. And all the separatists can go and have their own country on that island. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. It says here he was a petulant child and will destroy everything and everyone on his way out. With how? How? He can't pass any bills. He can't do anything. He's crippled. No, that's not Dildo, Newfoundland. That's the island is below Quebec and above New Brunswick. Lynn with a $5 super chat. We need a 2A in Canada along with castle doctrine laws. We must have the right of self-protection. The cops are moments, or in my case, hours away. I agree. We need changes in this country. And I mean, if you want to send everybody, I keep seeing it in the Dildo run here. You want to send all these separatists to Dildo. I mean, that's a pretty fitting place to send them, isn't it? Send them to the most eastern tip of Newfoundland and then just cut it off. And tell all the Newfies to move a little west. One of the biggest things I push for in our politics is I keep saying we need change. We need better bills in this country that are designed to protect Canadians and not designed to protect the government. Anytime we look at any bills that come forward right now in the House, they're all there for the benefit of the government. They're all there to benefit them. There's loopholes in there that keep them from parliamentary privilege. It keeps them from being charged or arrested for scandals. We've seen that with Trudeau over the last 10 years. That has to change. Those are the questions I know I'll be asking my conservative members when they come door knocking, looking for votes, whether they're provincial, whether they're federal. I think everybody else should too. Look, you're getting your majority. You're getting your super majority no matter what, whether I vote or not. The question is what are you going to do with the power you have? Are you going to change things to benefit Canadians, or are you changing things just to benefit yourselves? Because if you're just benefiting yourselves, I'm not interested. I'm a newfie that's lived west, says John. Well, there you go. So it's not too bad. Right? John with a $20 super chat. Don't remember who started it, but back during the trucker protest, somebody posted about being fringe monkeys and explained how primate tribes would allow exiles to stay on the fringe and served as watchdogs. Well, there's no fringe monkeys here. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Here we have only fringe. We've got only fringe, which again, ladies and gents, did I take that off the screen? Should we bring it back up? Do you guys want to see the only fringe again? If you haven't yet picked it up, go pick up your Only Fringe merch before it gets pulled. I had to fight with the company that makes this because they kept saying they were going to pull it off because it's copyright infringement. I don't think it is because it's parody. But either way, go grab your Only Fringe products. We're going to do something creative with Only Fringe in the new year. We're still figuring that one out. HUD with a $2.79 super chat. Talk about a backlash of proroguing with tariff. Yeah, well, it's going to get worse. Mrs. Fringe jumping in, join the Only Fringe. There you go. Good to see the wife chiming in. Aaron, $5 super chat. All right, folks, Merry Christmas to all. AMA is asking me go help fam on the highway. I'll listen in still. Thank you so much, Aaron. I used to work for AMA back in the day. Be safe out there, especially if there's snow going on around your area. I used to drive a tow truck in my early 20s. I worked for the AMA for a year, and it was a really cool job. I really enjoyed that job. Jerry with $5 super chat. We shouldn't be getting involved in foreign wars like Ukraine. Is Pierre liberal light? We need to rebuild our health system, deport overdue immigrants. I think all of that is going to change under Pierre. The Ukraine thing, I'm not so sure whether or not he's going to commit to that. I think we won't have to worry about it because Donald Trump's going to put an end to it regardless. But I agree wholeheartedly. Humble Tracker, $10 super chat. I believe the Bloc will benefit from a conservative leadership, and Bloc doesn't mean separatist. They are not. The separatist is provincial. That is it. There you go. Another good point. And I think that once Pierre is in, one of the things I'm looking forward to, and one of the things that I think everybody should be looking forward to here, is the possibility that Pierre is not only going to right the wrongs with Trans Mountain Pipeline, but Donald Trump's going to obviously want Keystone. Maybe we can go back to the board of looking at Energy East once again and start really getting oil out in this country, getting our product to market, getting our farmers putting out crops, all of our industries pumping hard to make sure our GDP goes up. This country, once you open up those doors, once you open the floodgates like Pierre keeps saying he's going to, that is what grows our GDP. That is what is going to make Canada a business powerhouse. You guys ever see Kevin O'Leary talking on TV about all the great investments that are coming Canada's way as soon as Captain Tampon leaves the room? I mean, this is where I'm saying, guys, glass half full. Better days are coming. Justin, coming at $5 tribute. Do you think the PPC could realistically fill a void left by the libs of the NDP until they get a seat? No. I'm sorry for anybody who supports the PPC. I voted PPC in the last election. Win a seat, then let's talk. That's what I keep saying. I don't want to get into the politics of it. I don't want to get into their ideologies or anything else. You got to win a seat before you can convince people that you deserve a voice at the table. David with the $5 super chat. Say what you want about Pierre, but seizing Parliament with a filibuster with a master class in politics, no new destructive bills were passed. Yeah. Radio Reaction says, I sit too late to sell LNG around the world. There you go. A couple more months until spring budget, 40 more billion coming up. Here's the thing. That money's already spent. So it doesn't matter if we see an Electra. It doesn't matter if we see an Electra. Sorry, I'm reading comments at the same time. My dyslexia kicks in so bad when I try to do multitask on the streams. Whether we see an election or not, the money's already spent. So we might as well just look at the high ground and say, election's coming. Stream is pausing a lot tonight. I apologize if that's the case. I'm not seeing any bad numbers on my end. If you guys are having bad numbers, I apologize if it's slowing down for you guys. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't want to make this too long of a stream. Because again, what are you doing here? I mean, I'm grateful we broke our viewer record. I'm grateful everybody's here. It's technically almost Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve. Spend some time with your family, but let's get into Q&A. Let's give the floor to you guys for the remainder of the stream. Throw your questions in. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, smack it. Smash it like an Only Fringe member. Join the greatest community on the platform. Let's get your questions in on the stream. Let's get him in here. Humble Tracker, $5 super chat. Where's the PPC in these times of turmoil's chaos? Ottawa, Maxime is missing an opportunity. He's probably in Florida, his vacation home. No lie, no joke there. Probably in Florida. How did Mrs. Fringe's baking go? Oh my God. Okay. It's funny that that's the first question in Q&A that came in. So Mrs. Fringe spent all weekend baking. She baked all day Saturday, and then Sunday was decorating sugar cookies. She did these very intricate cookies. They looked like something you'd find in a bakery. Little mittens, Christmas wreaths, very finely defined with little tiny piping done with the icing. Like, she did an amazing job. Today I went out with the kids to get a few last minute gifts for like my mother-in-law and things like that. Come home, the dog broke into the pantry, knocked over and sniffed out her cookies. I came home to crumbs all over the floor. Luckily, some of the cookie stash was saved for Christmas Eve. I had to call Mrs. Fringe at work, and she almost broke into tears. My dog is a bona fide asshole. I think it's the Basset Hound end of him. I think he's just stubborn. I think, but yeah, poor Mrs. Fringe did all that work to get the shaft, and that really sucks. JD saying, will you be live on New Year's? It really depends. If I don't have any plans, possibly. I don't know, because again, you guys should be doing something fun for New Year's. If you guys want to spend New Year's on the Fringe, I'll see what I can do. But hey, we'll see. White Pyro, if they prorogue Parliament, are we still not going to see the 4 times the carbon tax, or is it meaning nothing's going to happen? That I'm not sure of. We'll have to see. I don't know the ins and outs of that. I believe we would still see something. I'm not 100% sure. Somebody says top 5 favorite 80s video games. Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 3, Mega Man 2, Castlevania, Castlevania 3. Sure, it was the dog. No, it was the dog. You know, when you come home, the dog was hiding under the kitchen table. Hiding. Usually he's wagging his tail, comes over all happy, loves to see us. Not today. Not today. He knew he was in trouble the minute I walked in the door. John with a $20 super chat. I didn't know jack about Canadian politics until I started watching Viva, and he had videos about people getting arrested at Hortons for not wearing a mask, and the girl in Star Wars uniform getting arrested. I remember that. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Radio reaction. Question. Derek, will we get a public holiday when Trudeau is gone? If so, should it be for private sector only, or while public sector goes to work? No, everybody should have a day of celebration that Trudeau is gone. Maybe Pierre will do it for us. Rick with the $2 super chat. Money's tight. Support is right. Rick, hang on to your money. Thank you for the super chat, though. I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you so much. Will we see a better financial Christmas next year, says Reg? I hope so. Again, we'll see. Unparliamentary. Don't need to hear about Mrs. Fringe getting the shaft. I apologize. As I said on Friday's stream, I'm not one to open my presents early, so I will not mention her getting the shaft again. There you go. Do you think JT's on the Diddy list? There were reports that he was. I'm waiting to see. That list is going to come out. We know it's going to come out. We'll see. It is entirely Justin Trudeau's decision. Yes. So we'll see what happens. Again, the Governor General can intervene at any time. There are other ways to trigger an election besides Justin Trudeau. So we'll see. Jerry with $2 super chat. On the pinball, are you using a pinball ROM image and a PC? Yeah, so this is a digital pinball machine. I do have a PC connected to it with hundreds of tables. That's why it's usually a different table whenever you guys chime in on the videos, the live streams, etc. I'm hoping to upgrade the PC actually and get a better PC for that table so I can put more on it, more newer pinball machines on it. Do you ever play that Abomination Friday the 13th for NES? I do. I've completed it. It's not that bad once you learn how the game works. Derek's favorite cookies survived. They did put those cookies down. My cookies. Yeah, the dog didn't get my cookies, just Mrs. Fringe's sugar cookies. Oh my God, does that dog grind your gears? Yeah, he's a bastard. We need 20-year fixed mortgages like the States. I would ask Pierre for that one. If the housing costs came down, yes. Yes. Let me catch up with the chat. I'm going to try to catch up with the chat. I'm looking for, is the dog okay at least? Well, he's scared as to whether or not he'll be breathing by tomorrow, but that's more from my actions than the cookies. He's fine. I'm not answering that because that's a lose-lose no matter how you answer that. How many sleepless nights for Trudy during the holidays? I'm willing to bet he sleeps just fine. He doesn't care how bad he screws over the country. Viva Fry is great. I watched all of his Freedom Trucker Convoy videos back in the day. That was the proudest I felt as a Canadian in years. I chat with Viva once in a while. I consider him a friend. He's an amazing guy. Love his channel. Love everything that he does. Very handy when you have any kind of questions as to legal stuff. If he can't answer them, he can at least point you in a direction. How did the CBC BS go? Great. We talked about that on Friday's stream. Everything was dropped. There's other things happening. We had a nice little town hall between myself, Northern Perspective, Elevate Podcast, The Pleb, Mr. Sunshine Baby. I can't talk about what we talked about there because we have plans as to where we're going next. But as soon as something comes up that we can talk about, I'll be talking to you guys about that. White Pyro, money is tight. I've been off since October 2nd due to a plant catching fire. This is all Trudeau's crap that's killing us with. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope everything's okay over the holidays. Over Christmas. I'm used to saying the holidays because it's so woke. That's what everybody else wants me to say. I wonder if Trudeau sleeps with his socks on. Probably sleeps in socks and sandals in his bed because he's a savage. Who's choose the governor? It's not Trudeau. Will she give all the time? Sorry, I'm trying to. So she will give all the time. He won't. I told this since a few months that Trudeau will prorogue Parliament. Sorry, there's too many. Sylvain, it must be a lot of autocorrect in there. The Governor General, again, can come under the same pressures as Jagmeet Singh or anybody else. And Pierre, again, making his case, I think there's a strong possibility we'll see something happen with the Governor General. Again, I can't predict where things are going right now because, as Pierre said, you vote in clowns, you get a circus. This is a circus. It's a catastrophe. There's really no predicting where things are going to go anymore. We'll just have to wait and see. Louise with a $50 super chat. Buy some nice cookies. I know they won't replace Mrs. Fringe's. Thank you so much, Louise. Unbelievable support tonight, guys. You guys are great. Thank you. Tony Fox. Are you guys talking about Terry Fox being on the $5 bill? I think that was a good thing to come out of this year. Thanks to Pierre, by the way. Would you ever make a trip to the Maritimes for a meet and greet for the Maritime Fringes? I'd love to. If we could ever work that in, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, Mrs. Fringe did say she was going to make more. I said, please don't. Please don't. You did all that hard work. Came late to the stream. How was Sonic 3? I thought it was okay. I mean, it was a good movie. It's just they tried to do too many things at once. My kids really enjoyed it. I think Mrs. Fringe enjoyed it. For me, looking at it as a movie, it's like they jumped from one thing to another, and it just felt like they kind of just took a lot of lore and smacked it all together into a movie. Not a terrible movie. It's a good popcorn flick. from a movie standpoint, like compared to the other two movies, I just felt that this one was like a 5-year-old telling me a story versus a studio telling me a story like they did in the other two. Jerry, thank you for the $2 super chat. I mean, that's your everybody's entitled to their opinions. I'm not here to badmouth YouTubers. So I'm not gonna chime in on that. Megan saying lucky dog to have all those homemade sugar cookies. Nope. He's lucky to be breathing oxygen. In fact, when I called Mrs. Fringe, I said, if you would like a new rug or some mittens, I'm sure I could skin this dog and make that for you before you get home from work. Mrs. Fringe saying no, because the neighbors would ask questions and we'd have 3 sad children. So no, he's not a lucky dog. I mean, if religion's your thing, then yes. But for those who don't, here's the thing. You know, it's funny you mentioned that, because my kids asked about that today. They were making funny remarks about a movie they saw that was religious. And I said to them, we are not, and to anybody's surprise, we are not a religious practicing family. Does that mean that I don't believe in God or I don't believe in Christ or any of those things? No, and I'm not going to get into the religious aspect on this channel. We just don't practice. But it doesn't mean that we don't identify with a certain religion. It doesn't mean that we don't believe in certain things. To each their own. But what I had to tell my kids today, and what we had to talk about, is that there are those who are very devout to what they're doing. We have to respect them, and we have to respect their beliefs, because it's what gives them faith. It's what gives them comfort. People are free. The reason there's so many religions on this planet, and I've often said this to my religious family, is that I feel there's so many religions to choose from because it's based on faith. You have the right to believe what you want to believe. So whether you practice or you don't practice, whether you are devout at Christmas time and it's all about Christ, or it's just about the symbolism of everything, and you get what I'm saying, to each their own. I think that if you treat people properly and if you respect what brings other people comfort, and you don't nitpick based on your beliefs that somebody else is incorrect, I think that's the best way to live. I know that's really screwballed the way I put it, but I'm trying to find the least offensive way to say it. I just like treating people the way I'd like to be treated. And if somebody tells me they're Jewish, I will say Shabbat Shalom. If they tell me that they're Christian, I will say Merry Christmas. For the most part, I'm very respectable of what people's choices are. Until you start getting into the religions where you say you're going to beat your wives and, all these other things. I don't believe in that stuff. But for the most part, as long as you're a decent human being, to each their own. But it's important to have respect. It's important to have respect. I feel a lot of people miss that respect mark when it comes to appreciating what other people have. Now, the reason I'm dancing around this is because my father always told me there's 3 arguments in life you're never going to win: religion, politics, and everything else. Religion especially. And I chose to get into politics. So I try to watch my step when it comes to the other two, because you got to be respectful. Lizzie with a $2 super chat agreed, spot on. Thank you so much. I was a little nervous talking about that one because I know I have very devout religious viewers and I don't want to offend or upset them. But at the same time, I would ask them to understand that there's certain circumstances as to why one may not practice or does practice, or how much they're involved or may not be involved. In fact, the one thing I find hypocritical in religion is that most religions say that you're to do that. You're supposed to understand if somebody doesn't believe the things you want to, because it's all based on faith. So why is it that so many religions give people a hard time for not jumping on the wagon with them? I don't get it. I think that just be a good person. Be a good person. Treat people properly. That's what matters. That's what matters. Santa doesn't come to my house. I'm alone again this year. I'm sorry to hear that. Mr. Excuses, that should be my nickname. Thought the third was an argument with a wife. No, it's everything else. It's literally everything else. Did you see the new Superman trailer? It looks amazing. I didn't like the electric guitar riff of John Williams' Superman theme in there. We could have done without that. I think that's a little. I get it, James Gunn and his music, but I think it looks all right. My only critiques are I don't like the Jonas Brothers haircut they gave Clark Kent. I'm honestly reserving a lot of what I think about it until I see a real trailer. I'm worried from the teaser that they've shoehorned too much into that movie. Like a Spider-Man, an Amazing Spider-Man movie or like Amazing Spider-Man 2 vibes. You know, they put too much in there to try and drive the story. So the suit does look baggy, but again, that's a certain Superman that they're referencing where it's not like Henry Cavill tight spandex. It's more of a natural made suit. So I get it to an extent. I think it's All-Star Superman they're trying to embody in that. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. I know Mrs. Fringe saw the trailer and kind of went, eh. And I think a lot of it has to do with superhero fatigue. Superhero movies have been going downhill since Endgame. Is there a troll in the chat? Who's trolling? Come on, guys. It's Christmas. Let's not troll at Christmas. Who's trolling? Glenn isn't trolling. Glenn becoming a new member to the Patriots Club. Glenn, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Who's your main in Marvel Capcom? I usually take Wolverine and Venom. There's quite a few, actually. Yeah, but are they actually trolling or is it just a difference of opinion? I got to be honest. When I'm doing these live streams, the chat moves so fast. I don't usually catch things till afterwards. I usually leave it on my mods. I hope nobody's trolling because, it's Christmas. It's Christmas. Glenn's saying you're one of the best on YouTube. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I saw somebody asked if I've tried the new Marvel Rivals. John asking, have you tried Marvel Rivals? I played it a little bit. I'm digging it. I think it's good. Is it DMAC everybody's calling? I know DMAC leaves some weird comments sometimes, but he leaves some good ones too. So don't hate on DMAC. I think it's just a matter of opinion. Here's one I saw earlier. Rob, I want to chime in on this. Why do you hate Indigenous people and land acknowledgement? Let's talk about that, shall we? Because I don't hate Indigenous people. In fact, my sister-in-law was Indigenous. God rest her soul. I'll tell you why I have discrepancy with the Indigenous. Discrepancy. I don't hate them. I support anybody who wants to get up in the morning, have a job, contribute, be a part of society. When you talk about people who say they live on their own land, they're separatists, it's no different than Quebec separatists in my mind. You're still in Canada. Yes, you have the right to your land. I'm not saying you can't, but you should join the rest of us at some point. I have a problem with the behavior that goes on reservations. Anytime I go to a pet store or any organization that is doing adoptions, and you hear about the abuse that goes on reservations for dogs, you hear about the poor living conditions on reservations because band leaders keep all of the money and don't distribute anything to their people. You hear about people being abused, again, missing women. You talk about all the travesties that go on Indigenous lands, and again, nothing is done about it. We talk about clean drinking water not being available for the Indigenous. I hate that as well. I have many gripes when it comes to the politics that go on with the Indigenous, but I will make it very crystal clear for you, sir. I do not hate or dislike Indigenous people. In fact, again, some of my family members are Indigenous. I am friends with people from Indigenous descent. I do not hate the Indigenous. If you want to talk about land acknowledgements, yeah, I have a big problem with them. A big problem. Because it's un-Canadian. It's un-Canadian to sit in a building and be told you should have white shame and guilt for land that we pay for every month. Indigenous people get checks from Canadians every month, and that's from our government for the land that was taken from them hundreds of years ago. I'm pretty sure we've paid back more in full than what it was. Now, my point behind that is that people who live in England, there were many wars that went on throughout England throughout the early thousands to the 1500s to the 1700s. They were conquered over and over multiple times by different tribes, different armies over time. And eventually they evolved into the British. Everywhere you've been, somebody has claimed land. People have fought over land. People have made deals for land. People have done everything to defend lands that's theirs, or give up lands in a war, or be conquered, or however you want to put it. But you talk about the deals that went on for land, and they say, well, the Indigenous were robbed. They were given a bad deal or a bum deal. Okay. But if I sell my car to somebody for $500 and they go and sell it for $3,000, I can't go back to them and say, well, now you got to give me money for the rest of my life because you screwed me over. I'm the person who made the bad deal. So let's get that out of the way. I don't have to feel shame for something that happened hundreds of years ago that I wish didn't happen, for the record. I wish it did not take place. But why am I supposed to feel guilt for something that I had no control over? Why am I supposed to constantly bow my head and be reminded at my kids' schools that we have to acknowledge the land that we live on, that I pay taxes to live on, by the way? I don't pay taxes to the Indigenous. I pay taxes to the city of Calgary. I'm told to pay property taxes for the land that I live on, and I have to acknowledge that land that I'm sitting on. I don't agree with that. The problem with it is that you're acknowledging guilt into people. If I look at my kids' school curriculum, they don't learn about the Second World War. They don't learn about the French Revolution. They don't learn about real science. It's always Indigenous, 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 Indigenous all day long. All day. They're not being educated properly. We should learn about our Indigenous heritage. I learned about Indigenous heritage when I went to school growing up in Winnipeg. Do you know how long we spent on Indigenous heritage? A couple of weeks. And then we moved on to other subjects, because there's more to the world than Indigenous. So while you sit here and play me off as some kind of racist who doesn't tolerate or doesn't like people because of their nationality, or doesn't like people because of where they came from, or doesn't like acknowledging land. Hey, I'll acknowledge that, yeah, people came here, they took land, they formed Canada, we became our own country. But what I will also acknowledge is that I pay land to live on Canadian soil. I carry a Canadian passport, and that I shouldn't have to go to my kids' school and feel shame and guilt every single time they have an assembly, every time they have a Christmas display or a concert. I shouldn't always be having these woke, up drip policies thrown in my face so that a small group of people can feel good about making us feel like crap. We're all Canadian, whether you like it or not. It's called Canada. We live in Canada. I live in Canada. That's where I'm from. I don't see Americans going to kids' school assemblies and being told, oh, by the way, do you know that this country was built by slaves? And did you know that they beat down and murdered them and stuffed them in unmarked graves? And oh, by the way, that slave owner, one of the slave owners that did that, he's on the $1 bill. So you should feel ashamed for the rest of your life that you live in America, that's the way America goes. They don't do that. They teach it. They teach history. And the reason you teach history is to influence our next generations to not repeat the mistakes of those who came before them. When you're constantly bringing up, I'm upset, I'm offended, I'm hurt, feel ashamed, feel bad, nothing gets done. Nothing gets done. Jerry, thank you for the $2 super chat. Write the history books. It's just how it is. There you go. Lizzie, thank you for the $2 super chat. Anybody who wants to come out and blame me for hating people or anything, you're grasping at straws, and honestly, it makes you look weak. It makes you look so pathetic and weak, Because first off, it tells me that you don't know what I'm talking about. Second of all, it tells me that you're biased. If you're Indigenous, congratulations, I guess. I'm Canadian. My family hails from mostly Manitoba and the UK. Who's given me a check? The English tried to invade Scotland. Where's my check? From Britain. $5 super chat. I'm Métis and got beat out of a job because I wasn't Indigenous enough. That's part of UpDrip. That's a whole nother ball game. Bliss and Change, $2 descended from Micmac here. I am Canadian, period. There you go. So again, I don't think a lot of people are feeling the vibe that I hate the Indigenous here. If you took a picture of my huge friend group, it would look like one of their woke banners. I'm not racist either. I feel you. Bravo. Thank you for the $5 super chat. When we separate everybody into groups, when we separate people into you're Indigenous, you're white, you're black, you're Chinese, you're Asian, you're Indian, you're all these other things, it just creates little groups. So this is why we're in the problem situation we are with our government. They can easily divide you. They can convince you that someone else is the enemy. Now, I have never once said that the Indigenous are the enemy for white shame speeches in schools. That's the government and their woke policies. The government, this same government, by the way, who are erasing people like Sir John A. Macdonald, who are saying we have to erase all racist, misogynistic history from our books, not talk about it, not teach it. I hate to break your bubble. We're doomed to repeat the mistakes of our forefathers when we do that. So when you guys, and when I say you guys, I'm talking Indigenous, the same Indigenous that went to Winnipeg and tore down the statue of Queen Victoria from their legislative hill, by the way. You want us to respect everybody, but then you go and pull shit like that? Sorry. Sorry. We can't come to the same table and agree. When I see Queen Victoria statues being pulled down and people saying, yeah, you have to respect what I want, how is that supposed to be taken seriously? If I went onto a reserve and started tearing down statues or relics that you had to display your heritage, where you came from as a reserve, are you going to listen to me? Are you going to listen to what I have to say? Are you going to take what I have to say seriously? Probably not. At the end of the day, we're all Canadian. Jerry, thank you for the $2 super chat. He always looks for new ways to divide us all, and that's all it is. That's all it is. You're feeding into this. You're feeding into the narrative of, well, you're a white cisgender male. You're this, that, and the other thing. You're BLM. You're like, stop. Let's just be Canadian. Let's get more done as Canadian. People start talking about unmarked graves. Find the bodies. Where are the bodies? I haven't seen a single one. And I hate to say it, all these missing Indigenous women, start looking into the Indigenous. They're the reasons the Indigenous are missing, not white people. Again, if you go onto a reserve and you're talking to a guy who came from Manitoba, you go onto a reserve and you see the way that women are treated on those reserves, you see the behavior that goes on in those reserves, the violence, the abuse. Don't be blaming Canadians for Indigenous women going missing. Start talking to your band leaders. Start talking to your reserve police. Start demanding answers. Start demanding justice for the people that are brutally given a ticket off of this earth. And there it is. Point case, seal it with a nail. So because I don't like white shame, I'm now a PDF file. This is again, maybe you should go tear down another statue and ask me to respect you. You don't have a leg to stand on. You don't have a leg to stand on, Rob. Thank you for calling. Glenn with $2 super chat. I stand on guard for Canadian and all Canadians. There we go. I agree. Look at your own about the missing women. Yeah. It's you got to clean up your own mess before you can start blaming others. But that again shows how silly this argument is, isn't it? Isn't it? I'm actually glad that happened. Doesn't it set a precedent? Somebody doesn't like the answer you give them, so all of a sudden the name calling starts. The division. There's no agree to disagree. There's no common ground to say, I hear what you're saying, however, this is how I feel. It's, nope, you're a PDF file. You're a terrible human. You're a racist. You're a misogynist. Who does that sound like? Who does it sound like? Captain Tampon? People have lost the ability. I know this was supposed to be Q&A, but now we're kind of going on another tangent here. People have lost the ability to carry a discussion, to talk about their concerns, to elevate themselves past this disgusting nature of the internet, to say, I'm going to stand on my soapbox, and if you don't agree with me 100%, I'm going to call you every name under the sun. I'm going to spam your channel. I'm going to post negative things about you on social media. Why? Because you can't handle the truth? Because you can't carry an argument? It just shows that the argument you're carrying has no validity. It also shows you can't handle arguing with somebody with balls of steel. There we go. I'm Indigenous, love you just the same. I love everybody the same. I don't care where you come from. We're all Canadian. I don't care if you're straight, gay, white, black, whatever. We're all Canadians. To each their own. I talked about the same thing with religion. You have to respect people's choice. You have to respect what works for somebody else may not work for you. That's how we rebuild our country. There was a time when I was told that it was rude to discuss politics in public. When I grew up in the 80s, I was always told, don't talk politics in front of adults. It's offensive. Keep your political beliefs to yourself. And I agreed. We need to get back to saying to somebody, hey, I don't really like that tone. And somebody saying, oh, I do. So what are you going to do about it? I'm just letting you know I don't like it. That's the end of it. We can go have a beer and find other grounds to talk on. I've got a friend, a very close friend. How come you're not watching hockey? I don't watch hockey. I usually just catch up to the highlights. I've got a friend who votes NDP. His wife works in the education system, so he votes NDP because they see the most benefit. I don't hate him because he's an NDP voter. We disagree on politics, but we're still really good friends. We can still get together and have a beer and have a laugh. And if we ever talk politics, which we do, I'll state my point, he states his, and we both go our own ways and agree to disagree. And sometimes he's had some points where I've said, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. And he's had points where I've talked to him about what I believe, and he said, yeah, that makes a lot of sense too. Why can't we get back to that? The Jets are winning all the time. That's why I don't bother. I already know where the Jets are going to end up. Feathers of Fate. Indigenous people are not killing our women. That is insane. And the reason there's issues in our communities is due to the loss of identity because of colonial actions of our people. Again, such a weak argument. Such a weak argument. Go to a reserve. Go to any reserve that's not properly managed. Just in Manitoba in general. Anybody who lives in Manitoba in this chat could probably back this up. Go to any reservation. And the reason I know that, my sister-in-law was adopted into my wife's family. 2 girls, both sisters, FAS. adopted into their families. Why? Because the conditions were so terrible in Manitoba, they had to get them out of there. I've been to those reserves. I've seen what goes on. Don't talk about colonialism. Fix your own house. Fix your house. Then come and talk to me about what repairs you need from me. Northwestern Ontario was the same. Derek's speaking the truth. There you go. Carson, $50 super chat to cover some more of the thumbs up. What a great night. Thank you so much. Yeah, we got to get off the. I'm not going to entertain the you're a racist. You don't care about Indigenous. You don't. I've said a million times on streams. Give them fresh drinking water, clean drinking water. Let's get that in place instead of these $250 checks going to everybody in the spring. Start doing some things to actually make their lives better. Then, if they don't want to improve things, cut them off. Bannister with a $5 super chat. I was born here. I didn't steal anything. I'm a Canadian. I belong here. Merry Christmas. Same to you. Just be good people. Just be good people. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, boy, Q&A sure wrapped up on a weird note, didn't it? Let's close down the stream with a friendly message to you guys. I have a very special video dropping tomorrow for you guys. Again, I want to highlight, again, for anybody who missed earlier, because people always say, you didn't give receipts. Here's the receipts. Screenshot from the email earlier, $2,500 donation to supportourtroops.ca. Support our troops and soldier on. If you guys ever want to give to a good cause, this cause benefits veterans across the country, helps with hampers, those who can't afford their bills at Christmas, those who are in need of assistance. Our veterans are the backbone of this country, as far as I'm concerned. And this $2,500, 80% of it, 85% of it was raised in part by all super chats, all memberships, all books purchased from Amazon, all revenue coming from merchandise sales over the month of December. You guys are an amazing, amazing community. And I, for one, am very, very grateful for everything you guys did to help raise these funds. And I hope that you all have a very, very Merry Christmas and enjoy your Christmas Eve tomorrow night. For those who have said that they're alone at Christmas and enjoyed the stream tonight, this community is with you. I hope you enjoy your holidays or find a way to enjoy your holidays. Find some peace in this country. Peace knowing Trudeau's on his way out, that it's done. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming upon the precipice of the end of Justin Trudeau. And that is a cause for celebration. If you're with family this holiday, please do not drink and drive. Please do not put anyone else at risk. Make proper decisions. Look after yourselves. Look after each other. Again, have a very, very Merry Christmas. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'll catch you.